the Vixen Method that's going to help you take your life from where you are now to achieve things that you've never even been able to believe or think that you could accomplish because you just simply fell into the rat race and continued to stay doing exactly what everyone else does, which is to make excuses and not give any time to themselves. Hello, and welcome back to the Daily Vixen. Today I wanted to talk to you about a concept that really resonates with myself. It is the hard conversations that we need to have with ourselves when we are trying to make big life changes. We are trying to be more successful. We are trying to achieve our goals. And we are trying to change the things that we don't like about ourselves. People are constantly going to sit back and say that they don't have the time to make changes in their life, that they're too busy, that they have kids, that they have husbands, that they have demanding jobs, that they don't know how to cook, and they're going to be able to give you a 10-minute laundry list of the excuses of why they don't have time to give to themselves. I'm here today to tell you that if you give yourself 10 minutes per day, that you can make lifelong, sustaining, and sustainable changes, and that you can achieve the goals that you've always wanted to. The problem is that so many people are going to continue to give me this laundry list of excuses and not take the time to actually give to themselves to make those changes. The good news is that today I'm going to tell you exactly how 10 minutes per day, after approximately 1 to 1.5 hours on the very first day of self-reflection, that you can actually make measurable, sustainable progress towards each one of your goals. First, I want you to sit down and I want you to think, where am I today and where do I want to go? What aspects of my life do I want to change? Am I happy in my job? Am I happy in my relationship? Do I have a toxic relationship with my family members? Am I staying friends with friends that don't want the best things for me? Do I want to have a better relationship with God? Do I want to try new hobbies? If your answer to any of these questions is yes, no, yes, I absolutely want to do those things, then I implore you to sit here and listen to the Vixen Method that's going to help you take your life from where you are now to achieve things that you've never even been able to believe or think that you could accomplish because you just simply fell into the rat race and continued to stay doing exactly what everyone else does, which is to make excuses and not give any time to themselves. First, I want you to sit down and think of 10 areas of your life that you want to focus on. Yes, I think that 10 is the correct amount, and you might think that I'm crazy, but I had to pare it down to 10 because I'm an overachiever, but I also think that 10 is the magic number, and if you stick around, I'll let you know why 10 is the magic number at the end. So for me, my 10 aspects of my life that I wanted to focus on were health and wellness, friendship, romantic relationships and love, family, personal development and career, recreation and hobbies, personal development and lifelong learning, travel, financial planning, and spirituality and religion. These are the 10 areas that I'm going to refer to as my life's spheres. These spheres are going to encompass all of my goals in those 10 areas of my life that I want to achieve. Now, if you're sitting here wondering how this all works, why don't you grab a piece of paper and follow along with me. Once you've come up with your 10 areas of life that you want to refer to and you want to achieve new goals in and you want to continue to achieve the same success if you are happy with those goals in those 10 areas, I want you to write those 10 down. And if you can't think of your own 10, feel free to steal some of mine. Now that you have these 10 areas of life that you are motivated to improve, you want to sustain your success in some of these, that you want to level up in some of these, or that you think that you need a complete and utter overhaul, I want you to think of a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being that you need absolutely 100% a complete overhaul. You need a catastrophic change because you are unhappy, absolutely abysmal. You don't think that you like this aspect of your life. It brings you down. It makes you sad. It brings on depression. And this is the area of life that needs the most work. That's a 1. A 5 is going to be your average happiness. There are some things about it that you dislike. There are some things that you like about it, but you could always improve, and that there are some things that need to change, but obviously there are also going to be some aspects within that sphere that could remain the same, but it can require some minor tweaks. That's going to be your 5. Somewhere between average and abysmal is going to be your 2, 3, or 4. And now we're going to talk about a 10. A 10 means that you are killing it, that you absolutely think that you have met your ceiling for as good as you possibly could. A 10 is a fluttering moment of absolute pure bliss and happiness and achievement. That 10 is going to be constantly something that you are chasing, because even if things are going fantastic, you're going to learn down the road that once you really start thinking about the things that you want to achieve and you see your progress using the Vixen method, that you're going to continuously move that 10 out to where a 9 is your comfort zone and a 10 is something that you're always chasing. So between that average 5 and that chasing 10, 6, 7, and 8 is going to be somewhere between you're okay with where you're at, but you want to continue to grow and to have more success. That's a 6, 7, or 8. So now looking at your 10 life spheres, you rate each one. You're going to rate each sphere on a scale of 1 to 10 so that we can have the magic number of 100. You are chasing your 10 out of 10 life towards your 100% happy and fulfilled life, your absolute full plate. That is why 10 is the magic number. If you have something different, you're not going to be able to say that each area of your life, each area that makes you who you are, is fulfilled. 10 areas does give you the opportunity to see the macro level goals and areas of your life, as well as some of those micro areas that consistently get left behind. So now take the time to write down your scale of 1 to 10. Where are you right now with regards to friendships? Have you moved to a new location and you need to have new friends? Are you in a position where you've been friends with the same people all your life, but you don't think that they are bringing anything to the table, and maybe they're even holding you back? Do you need to go out and find new friends who support you, who encourage you to do things for yourself? That's how you're going to be able to make that decision between a 1, 2, a 7, a 9, a 10. You have to really internalize with each one of these life spheres of where you're at. And you want to be brutally honest, because this is your starting point. This is where you're starting from, so that you know exactly where you want to be and you can see your progress along the way. So make sure that you rate each one of those life spheres: your health and your wellness, your friendships, your romantic relationships and love, your family, your professional development and career, your recreations and hobbies, your professional development and your lifelong learning, your travel, your financial planning, and your spirituality and religion. And once you have them each ranked, now we're going to get into the nitty-gritty of the ability for you to take this 1 hour to 1.5 hour exercise to turn it into 10 minutes per day moving forward, to be able to see exponential growth. So now that you have your 10 out of 10 and 100% full plate analysis done under the Vixen method, we're going to take some time to break each one of these contact spheres down into 3 measurable goals that you're going to track and measure on a day-to-day basis and analyze each one each day of the month. And then you'll have one wrap-up day at the end of the month to see where you've come out of your 100% full plate life. And if you're somewhere only in the 30s or the 40s right now, that's okay. That's why you're doing this. You're taking the time to take your life from minimal to extraordinary. You want to live that 100% full plate life. And this is the way to do it. So let's break down each one of these life spheres into some goals that you might think are attainable, and to make sure that they are measurable goals, meaning that you can actually track your progress. So let's say that you currently are single, but you would like to engage in a romantic relationship. Well, sitting in your home every day, hoping that your book boyfriend comes to life, or that when you go to work every day, working from home, that some Prince Charming is going to materialize out of thin air. I'm here to tell you that that isn't going to ever change your romantic relationship, and it's not going to help you fall in love, despite being in love with every book boyfriend that there's out there. So a measurable goal to get your romantic life, say from a 1 or a 2, or maybe you are content with being single and so you're a 5, you would say, I plan to go on 1 date per week to see if I can meet new people. That is a measurable goal. It's also a doable goal, and it's something that you can ensure that you're doing when you do your daily check-in on that specific goal. For travel purposes, you can say that you would like to take 1 international trip per year, and that you would like to go to 2 new cities in the United States per year as well, for a total of 3 different traveling trips. And you can track that. You can track what it's going to take to be able to do that, and that would coincide with your financial planning, but those are measurable goals. With regards to your family, say that you're an extremely busy mom and you're juggling work and friends and hobbies and children, and you want to make sure that you're a very present parent for your children's extracurricular activities. One of the goals might be that you don't drop your children off at practice, but that you ensure that you actually are personally present and actually present to watch and engage with your child during a practice 1 time per week. That is a measurable goal that gets you to be a more engaged parent. That is drastically different than you saying, I want to be an engaged parent. That is exceedingly hard to track. So you want to make sure that your goals are things that you can actually achieve and that you can mark your progress. When it comes to health and fitness and wellness, there are so many different measurable goals that you could have in these areas. You could walk 10,000 steps per day. You can take 1 hike per week. You can lift weights at the gym or in your home gym 3 times per week. You can commit to tracking all of your meals each week. You can commit to doing the carnivore diet for 6 weeks to see if it makes you feel better. This is also the area where you can commit to making sure that you have 1 physical per year, that you do everything that is a follow-up to your physician's suggestions, that you could go get your blood tested. As long as it is a measurable goal, this is where you want to write it. You just don't want to say, next year in 2026, I want to get healthy. That is not going to be something that you can measure, and being able to measure something is actually how you're going to be able to progress and see progress. Progress is what keeps you motivated. Motivation is what keeps you going through the hard times when you have hiccups or if you have full-blown catastrophes. So make sure that each one of your goals, the 3 goals per sphere, are listed as something that you can measure in the future. Things with regards to spirituality and religion. This is one of those ones that may not speak to everyone, but it may speak in volumes to others. If this is something that you want to just get more in tune with yourself and you're not super religious, this might be that you take 10 minutes per morning to meditate. This is something that allows for you to center yourself and that you can become more in tune with yourself. Or if you are someone that's trying to get into religion, you might want to say, I'm going to commit to going to church 2 times per month, because you don't want to also not take into consideration that you're trying to live this 10 out of 10, 100% full plate life. And that if you committed to go 4 times per month, that you might be missing out on taking those hikes or taking time to see friends or trying a new recipe. So again, not only do your goals need to be measurable, they also need to be realistic and attainable. With regards to financial planning, this is a scary one for a lot of people. This is the, if I don't think about it and I don't look at it, it's all just going to magically happen and work out in the end. This is probably one of those areas that you really do need to plan for, and that's why it's called financial planning. And so think big, but also do measurable goals. Say that you're going to put in $5 twice a week into your savings account, and you're going to forego Starbucks. These are, again, measurable goals that can ultimately lead you to where you want to go, but doesn't end up stating in 2026 6, I'm going to be financially independent or financially responsible. That means different things to different people. So think small, think things that you can actually attain so that you can see your progress. And when you see that progress, you're going to be very proud of yourself. With your personal development and lifelong learning, this can be, I have wanted to learn Spanish, and therefore I'm going to commit to doing 15 minutes of Babbel every single day. Or I'm going to sign up for that community college class on photography because it really, really interests me and I want to know more about it. And that interests me. And then you do it and you attend those classes every single week. And then you start to feel good about a goal that you set out and that you've accomplished. This can be, I'm going to listen to one new self-help podcast. Hey, you should be listening to the Daily Vixen if that's one of your lifelong goals, is to continue to learn and to personally develop yourself. This channel is going to continuously challenge you to develop yourself from every single aspect. So it's a good opportunity to check off one of your goals if you continue to listen in to the channel. It could also be that you want to take a cooking class or that you're going to try a new recipe one time per week. Again, as long as you can measure it, write it down. In the area of recreation and hobbies, maybe you are that husband or that wife or that student that has forgotten that there is more to life than going to school and going to work and making sure that everyone else is taken care of. Everyone other than yourself. This is a time that you can put in twice per month. I'm going to go and try a new brunch spot because that's important to me. One time per month, I'm going to go on a hike with friends. That hits off 3 different boxes. That's your recreation and your hobbies, your wellness, and your friends. One time per month, I'm going to go to Disneyland because that's the place that brings you the most joy. This is a time to put down these goals. It's okay to be selfish in making some of these goals because you matter just as much as everyone else in your life. And this is the one time and the one box that's okay for you to just make a personal goal that you go out and you have fun. As it pertains to your family, maybe you are estranged from your family, or maybe you should be estranged from your family. This is the time to really look deep within yourself to find out whether or not you need to work on your family dynamic. And this is outside of your romantic family. This is your children. This is your parents. These are your sisters. These are your cousins. Are there toxic people that you need to cut out? Are there people that you need to look in on more often? Do you need to call your grandma? This is the opportunity to say, I want to have one family dinner every month. And then you stick with it and you follow through. These are the times that you can say, I have gone to therapy for long enough and they've told me I need to cut out my dad because he is toxic and he makes me feel bad about myself. This is the opportunity to communicate that goal to yourself and to put it into a measurable goal. I am not going to talk to my family member every single day. I'm going to create healthy boundaries that allow for me to meet my goals and to personally develop myself into a stronger version of myself. And therefore, I'm only going to commit to speaking to toxic family members one time per week, one time per month, or you're going to cut them out altogether. It doesn't matter if it's that you need to spend more time with your family members, or you need to cut them out, or you need to take more time for yourself. The family aspect for goal setting is a time for you to personally reflect and determine what you need to do to be a better person for yourself. And sometimes that means being more apparent to family members, and sometimes that means retracting from others. With regards to professional development and career, your goals could be anywhere from I am going to commit to doing 5 hours of overtime every single week because I want to make more money, or because I want to do additional training, or I want to show my boss that I want the promotion. But it's things that you can personally control within your professional development and your career, not the conceptualized goal of I want this promotion. You have to do measurable goals that can get you towards the promotion, but getting the promotion in and of itself is going to be controlled by someone other than yourself. And so you don't want to set yourself up for failure because you can't control that, but you can control being more present at work. offering to help more, staying behind hours, taking additional continued education within your field, picking up extra shifts. Or it very well might be that this isn't the job for you and that one of your goals is to put in 5 applications for a job that you really want each week. Again, as long as they're measurable, anything can be your professional and career goal as long as it's getting you to where you want, but it can't be a concept. It has to be a measurable goal, even if your end game is a concept. I want a new job. I want a promotion. I want to go back to nursing school. All of those are perfectly fine, but you have to figure out your goals that are going to get you there and can be measured. With regards to friendship, this is the same type of goals that I spoke about with regards to family. You have to personally assess your life and where you want to go, and you have to be willing to be extremely raw with yourself and honest and truthful about where you're at to be able to make these measurable goals. Do you miss your friends? Do you miss doing things with them? Have you focused too much on your children? Have you focused too much on your religion? Have you focused too much on your health and fitness that you feel that you've lost a sense of belonging within friends? Have you been forced to move to a new town? These are things that are going to affect you. And this is the time in this personal assessment, these 1 hour to 1.5 hours that you do in the beginning of the year and check in monthly to find out, how can I get myself from this mediocre life to this 10 out of 10, 100% full plate? By doing all of this, you're setting yourself up for success, because everyone's going to have those excuses where they cannot put any time away for themselves, yet they can scroll through social media, or they can play games on their phone, or they can sit and play video games for hours, or they can scroll meaningless through television shows and watch movies on end, but they can't take any time. So I'm imploring you to take this 1 hour to 1.5 hours to really, really assess your life, to set yourself up for 10 minutes per day. And those 10 minutes per day will change your life, because everyone has 10 minutes. You can wake up 10 minutes earlier. You can go to sleep 10 minutes later. But if you commit 10 minutes for the next 365 days, or even just 30 days, you're going to see immense change within yourself, because you're going to be focused. You're going to be honest with yourself, and you're only going to have to take 10 minutes per day to make sure that you're making measurable steps towards reaching all of your goals in every aspect of your life. And so I ask you today, give yourself those 10 minutes. You're worth it. And therefore, you should follow the Vixen Method, follow the life spheres, and just go for the life you've always wanted.